Hi, this is Pam. I just thought you might like to have a little flip through of a journal I've just created for my friend's birthday. She's a very unfussy person, so I haven't over decorated it, and she's a very keen gardener, so that's been the theme. So just inside I've popped a little note from the bookmaker just to explain to her about junk journals, because I'm not sure she's ever seen one before. And I just did a little embossing here. It didn't go terribly well, but never mind, it still says this journal belongs to. Just in here, this is a birthday card that someone else gave me, and I've just used the front of it to create a pocket on the first page, inside of which is a planting or harvesting calendar. So that's just popped in there with a little tag on it to indicate that there's something to pull out. Some of the papers in here have been digital downloads. Others are very old papers that I've had. Just got a couple of digital downloads there. This is quite an old piece of paper. And on this I've stuck a picture of someone gardening because I thought that was very appropriate. A little tuck there and a little square journaling spot there. And this is very thin paper, so actually this image has come through from stamping on the other side, but it's still quite pretty, I think. Just a little washi tape on the edge. There are the birds. I liked the idea of the robin standing on the edge of the garden fork. Squirrel coming down the side of the page. This is avocado dyed paper, and this batch came out really deeply pink, but I think it's rather nice. More just little tucks and little random pieces of paper with herbs and so on. Page out of a magazine, which I thought was rather appropriate. Oh, no, sorry, this is an old book on herbs. Here we've got a little flip, so there's a little writing place there and a couple more bits and pieces. Gardening memorabilia here. Over the page, this is quite old paper. This one is coffee dyed paper. Just thought I'd pop some sort of gardening type pictures throughout this journal, really. Rather nice picture here of a chimney pot and some birds. This is all stenciled. This was from a digital kit. I think this one is Victoria Designs. Little bits of washi tape here. So lots of room for her to actually use this journal for recording her planting, journaling as she wishes, really. A picture of a sheep with a lamb. We're both keen knitters, so I just thought that would be quite appropriate. This pocket here with a tag. Again, this is a page from a book. I think this is the other side of that very pink avocado paper. Just did trim the edge of the odd page here and there. All gardening. A little bit of stenciling here, a little stamping, just to make it interesting, really. Both of these papers are digital downloads. Some very old accounting paper from my days of training as an accountant. Just all gardening. My friend grows all her own vegetables. I think this might have been blueberry dyed, this paper. Again, this lined paper is quite old. Made a belly band here out of a pretty piece of a book, which I thought was rather nice. And another just pretty page tucked inside. Another gardening page here, my herb book. And a much paler pink avocado dyed paper. Just a little piece of vellum here, stamped dream on here. Picture of some books and some little bookmarks. I think this came from Daphne's diary. I did a little drawing myself, so I popped that in, and just a little bit more stenciling. Actual flowers from my garden, just breaking up slightly, and a wax seal here. Other side of the vellum. Lots of pages left blank for her to fill in as she wishes, and just interesting little pictures otherwise of plants and so on that I found. Another book page, another page I've edged a couple of tags here, the other side of that blueberry paper. Some scrapbooking paper with forks on, which I thought was rather nice, and I just popped a random little piece of Edith Holden page in there, little envelope I'd made, and that's just got a little tiny tag in it. Back to nature. So I've left lots of space. I wanted to decorate it just enough to make it interesting. More stenciling, nice picture of a Wellington boot. Again, quite old paper. This tag came from Essential Journaling by Helen Colebrook. I do like her stuff. Another very pink page. Another page from her book, which I just turned up. And here I just made a little book of different pages. Just something intriguing and interesting, really, when she's flipping through. Another edged page, very simply edged. Nice big picture of a butterfly, I thought that was rather nice. And here I have put a piece of lace, but this journal does not have very much of that in. A little bit of stamping, I coloured in that sunflower. Little pages of this with some interesting bugs. It's another little digital download, and this is washi tape. And another piece of that fork paper making a belly band. And this is just a book page that I've turned over, all just intriguing little bits and pieces for her to take a look at. A bit more washi tape there. Another very thin sheet of very old paper. This little her book came in a copy of Daphne's Diary, so I just thought that was relevant to pop in. The other side of the paper. These weren't very pretty pages, so I stuck this page right across to a great friend, because that's very relevant. She is a great friend. Here I tucked in a page from Edith Holden, which I just thought was lovely. That page all about daffodils and marsh marigold. So I just thought that was such a nice page. I would just tuck it in just as it is. End of the pretty paper, and here we have just a couple of things tucked in to a pocket at the back. And I absolutely love the picture that I put on the back of this journal for a couple of us who are a little bit past our prime, but don't tell us. So I hope you enjoyed that little flip through, and I'll be back with more.